OnePlus 7 Pro just came out, and I must say it is almost the perfect Android device. But camera system disappoints me once again, even compared to the previous model, the 6T. Let me show you what I mean.
So here we are, guys, with a new video, the comparison between the OnePlus 7 Pro on my right and the OnePlus 6T on my left. It's a beautiful day outside. This is the front-facing video, 30 frames per second. I think OnePlus 7 Pro has slightly better dynamic range. Stabilization seems pretty good on both phones. And this is 1080p, still at 30 frames per second. On my right the OnePlus 7 Pro, and on my left the OnePlus 6T. I think the only difference between the two phones is the color calibration, but let me know what you think.
Well, for video there is not much of a difference between the two phones. The only difference I can spot is the white balance, and the 7 Pro having a slightly warmer tint while the OnePlus 6T kept the natural tones of the environment. Also, OnePlus 6T microphones seem slightly more powerful, producing slightly better sound recordings. Moving on to photos, I must say I personally like the OnePlus 7 Pro selfie camera better. It delivers more natural looking photos with a slightly wider dynamic range and more muted colors. The 6T looks very good also, but is slightly more contrasty. Some may like it this way, but I prefer more natural looking photos. In the portrait shots, it is easy to see that the OnePlus 6T uses an aggressive oversharpening filter, while OnePlus 7 Pro is softer, more flattering to my skin. Edge definition and background separation is also better on the newer OnePlus flagship. Another thing I like better on the 7 Pro is the back camera portrait mode. Even if it is pretty hard to use until I get the depth effect, once it is locked on, the OnePlus 7 Pro delivers more natural portrait photos thanks to it using the telephoto lens. The 6T uses the wide camera plus the second sensor for depth information, and it shows, especially on human subjects, where it slightly distorts like any other wide-angle lens does. The 7 Pro also delivers slightly sharper and more detailed portrait photos. It's worth mentioning that the 2019 OnePlus flagship introduced for the first time an ultra-wide-angle camera, and the photos it delivers are okay, but nothing worth writing home about. It is not as wide as the Huawei or Samsung ultra-wide, but at least it seems to have close to zero barrel distortion, which is a good thing. At last, we can speak about the OnePlus 7 Pro main 48 megapixel camera, and surprisingly, it's the weakest link in the entire camera system. As you will see throughout this test, especially with the latest update, OnePlus 7 Pro delivers more eye-catching photos ready to upload on social media. They have punchier colors and increased contrast opposed to what the OnePlus 6T does. But, as many of my subscribers already know, I am that guy that always prefers flatter and more natural looking photos, that I can edit afterwards if needed. And the 60 is better in this regard. It has a slightly wider dynamic range with less crushed shadows, more natural and more muted colors, and also it has a much more reliable focusing system. My only gripe with the 60 pictures is that increased levels of sharpness. The OnePlus 7 Pro sensor delivers less sharpening, but contrast and colors are over the top. Some people may prefer the 7 Pro pictures and I can understand them, but not me. And this is why, at least for daylight shots, I consider the 7 Pro to be a downgrade over the OnePlus 6T when it comes to the main camera sensor. But let me know what you think. Which phone do you like better for daylight photos and videos? Don't forget to vote in the poll, and until our lowlight video, I wish you all the best. This is Pixel Peepers signing out.